Let's talk about this summary page and how we can use this information to achieve our profit margin goals and minimize our waste. The first several columns you're going to see here show the number of flowers you're ordering on each of your pages. So we've got the personals page, ceremony page, and reception page. The example here is going to be a wedding, and we've got 24 Tibet roses allocated for the bouquets in our event, and that is going to show up on the personals page. And we've got 50 Tibet roses in our ceremony, and we're not using any, so we've got 0 in our reception. This is going to be helpful because you can use this in a lot of different ways. If you are setting up your ceremony on site, you can simply take this summary page and have your designers or freelancers or an assistant pull all the flowers from that category, that entire page, and label them in buckets that says ceremony. And then that will be set aside so that you are not tempted on design production days to kind of dig into some of those flowers, which we all like to do sometimes. So the next column is going to be the stem or bunch column, and that's going to show you if the flower is being ordered by the stem or the bunch. Pretty straightforward. The next column is going to be our total column, and this is where you're going to see the total of how many stems or bunches of each flower you are ordering for each page. So here we've got the 24 Tibet roses for the personals, we've got 50 in the ceremony, and 0 in the reception. So our total is going to be 74 roses. Now if we take a look at the next column, that's going to be our extras column. And this is basically the flower number that you need to order to round up to your wholesaler bunch quantities. So for example, we're ordering 74 total Tibet roses, but we know that these roses come in packs of 25. So when you created your flower, you entered that it was a pack of 25 in your stems per pack line item there in your create flower modal. And EveryStem is going to calculate how many bunches you need to order and how many flowers round up to that number. So we're going to need to order 75 because they're coming in packs of 25. That leaves us 75 minus 74, and our extras column shows 1. We're going to have 1 extra Tibet rose. Now, sometimes flowers break, sometimes they come in and they're damaged, so it's really up to you to decide how many extras you want. But this empowers you to make really great decisions about avoiding overbuying and minimizing waste. So really take a look at this extras column before you submit your flower orders to your vendors and consider how many actual flowers you need as extras. And the more experienced you get, the more comfortable you'll get with kind of having fewer and fewer extras. Overall, I recommend that you want to keep these numbers pretty low. You don't want lots and lots of extra flowers because it's going to cost you more. Now, we are including the cost of these extras in your profit margin calculations because most of you are wedding and event florists, and we want you to be able to calculate these when you're factoring your cost. So EveryStem does include the cost of these extras in your profit margin calculations. Just keep that in mind. Then when we're looking at the next line, it's the order total column. And this is going to be the number of stems or bunches of flowers you need to order to meet your wholesaler's full bunch count. So we're talking about ordering those 24 Tibet roses for the bouquets, 50 for the ceremony, and 0 for the reception. That gives us a total of 74 for our recipes. And since those Tibets are sold in packs of 25, we're going to round up automatically to 75 stems for your summary page order total. These are also the numbers that are going to show up on your vendor order list when you export and order to the vendor because they need to know how many you want to buy based on their pack counts. This is really helpful because you can kind of take a look at this and decide, if you're ordering 51 or 76, and you're going to have 22 or 23 or 24 extra roses, you might want to consider trying to adjust some of your recipes so that you can keep those extras to a pretty low number. The next column is your extended cost, and this number represents how much you are spending on each flower in total for the entire event. This information can be helpful for you to determine which flower varieties are best suited to different budgets. We don't recommend sharing this exact information with your clients, but you can use it to inform them to make the most effective flower decisions for their budget. For example, if the client wanted to switch from these Tibet roses in our example to white peonies, the price of this one particular flower would increase substantially, since peonies are much more expensive per stem than roses. Sometimes giving them a general idea of how much more this one flower is going to cost them at retail, it can really get them to understand that, if they want it, they can certainly have it, and you're happy to sell it to them, and they're willing to pay that price. Or they might decide, no, it's not worth it, and that way you can easily adjust that flower by editing the flower and making a simple change in their recipe for them. So this is really a way for you to kind of work through the process of dealing with your client as they determine their budget and make changes so that you can adjust this to keep your recipes in line with your profit margin and also achieve your client's budget goals overall for their flowers. Finally, if you want to scroll down to the bottom, you can see your profit summary information in a pretty large format. And this is helpful for you to review before you finalize your event and send your flower order over to your vendors. So review this, review all of your recipes, and check your quantities. Check your difference line, make sure everything is in the black and you don't have any negative numbers. And then you can go ahead and export your orders and send it to your vendors. So hopefully this summary page will be something that you can use to really achieve your profit margin goals, minimize waste, and maximize your profitability.